So today was the first day I went out biking.
Beautiful day.
Yeah, big day. So it's always a big day every year, and I didn't plan on it because I was like, I need to go for a tune-up, and I don't have a rack for my new car, so I don't really have the shop I go to is downtown. They're cheap, and the ones in the Highlands are always way overpriced. So yeah, I get ready to go take I go pump my tires up, and I'm like, all right, it was kind of unplanned today, and the fact that it was unplanned made it more exciting. So I get out and I leave my house and I go down Alta to get on Spring by Cherokee. And all I do is when I turn on Spring, I go about 100 feet before I turn left into the park. This car gets behind me, and immediately this guy's like, get out of the road, asshole. And I'm just like, and I've been on my bike for like 2 minutes. And I turn around, I'm like, calm down, dude. And I get ready to turn in the park. He stops and looks at me. He's like, you don't need to be in the center of the road. And I'm like, I have a million things I wanted to say to this guy right now. Number one, I was on the bike on that road for 100 feet. Number two, there were cars passing on the other side, so he couldn't have gone around me unless he wanted to get in a accident, like hit another car head on.
Yeah,
number
which
three,
you don't want.
Number three, the classic, he's in a car and I'm in a bike, so like he could kill me pretty easily.
Yep.
And then number four, it's just like, I don't know, like
you really have bad luck on the bikes and the scooters.
I do, yeah. like in number four, like, are you really in that big of a hurry? Like you're not not in that big of a hurry to stop.
It's a beautiful day. Just relax.
Yeah. So after all those things I was thinking, and I wanted to say everything, but what just came out was "fuck you," and I just rode away.
Yeah.
So yeah, if this guy happens to be listening, he was driving a shitty old red sports car and had long hair and a black mustache. Yeah, turn this thing off and get out of here. But yeah, other than that, it was a good day. Parts of the park were closed, but yeah.
Yeah, I definitely was hoping I could get out and get a walk in. I unfortunately didn't, but I've been out a few times. So yeah, fucking beautiful day here in Louisville, Kentucky.
Yes, it is, and it's going to be beautiful next 2 days too. In the 80s, the first 2 days.
Yeah, a little bit of rain scattered, but yeah, it should. Yeah, I saw like high of the 80s, like fuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the afternoon's supposed to be nice, so I'm excited.
Hell yeah. All right, I almost got all this out here. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. I'm ready.
Gotcha. That'll be the cold open then. Bike rant.
Will Gray in the house, acknowledging our tribal chief. Yes. Okay. You good?
Yep.
All right. Welcome to the Brainbuster Boys, episode 102. My name is Brett Jagger, along with my tribal chief, Beaumont Rand.
Ooh.
How about that one?
Yeah. How about that one? Oh, man. That was a big compliment. Man, I got a lot to say about that guy. I feel like I'll mention my conclusive thoughts about
I figure if you got any life stuff you want to get off your chest, but I feel like we'll just start right with
we talked about the
elephant in the room here.
Yeah. There's that.
Just go ahead. What do you think about old Roman Reigns and the fact that he retained the undefeated Universal World Championship, whatever they fucking call it?
Yeah. So, anywho, this was the first time I remember watching like Roman Reigns, like out of the entire time we've seen him. And again, it's been like bits and pieces, truly, but big bits and pieces, the big similar things. But this is when I fucking realized I'm like, man, he's like, like the magnitude of what he is, like how like great of a performer he is, and the impact that he has and will continue to have on wrestling. Yeah, I mean, not just that, but like, I was cheering for him at some point in the match, and I know like that's not like what you're supposed to be doing, but after all this build up, thinking Cody's going to win, after, that sort of being the obvious thing, like he got me on his side. And yeah, I used to think Roman Reigns was just sort of like, I don't know, I guess as a casual fan and someone who's just, stepped in for these big parts, I never really 100% got it. I don't think it was just more of like other people telling me. This was the first time I saw it and I felt it.
Yeah. That's important. And I mean, the shock of it all, obviously, I mean, I'll never ever forget that. I mean, you and I kind of locked eyes, like, and as Solo came back, after Usos came down, Kevin and Sammy clear him out. It seems like, okay, it's clear for Cody to win, and then Solo fucking slips his ass back in the ring, and then I'm like, oh my God, is this really gonna happen? And then that monster spear, and then on the 3 count, I just look at each other and just like, oh my God.
Yeah, it was just an immense moment, and just done in a very, very surprising way. I mean, that match was everything you could have wanted out of that, I think, except for the people who really wanted Cody to win, which, like, I don't know, like, I got, I was like cool, like when Cody got his intro stuff, and a lot of the stuff he did was really cool in the intro with his kid and then Brody Lee's kid.
Absolutely. With Brody Lee, yes, that was very cool.
Yeah. And that's part for, that's, who Cody is and stuff. But yeah, like pretty quickly, I sort of was just like, like I know Cody's like being teed up for this big moment, but yeah, I just kind of wanted Roman to win. It was that and Paul Heyman, and just all this stuff. And like,
I mean, we were dialed into Heyman the whole fucking match. I mean, he's killed it for this whole reign, but just looking at his face throughout the entirety of the match is just a sight to behold.
It is. Yeah, no, he like, so I mean, just that whole package of like the bloodline stuff, I know it's like dominant and I know like they win, but yeah, this is the first time I kind of really felt like, oh yeah, like to me this is really cool. Get why,
and I mean, you pretty much, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's it.
I was just going to say, you kind of said you've only seen bits and pieces. I mean, I feel like we've covered the last several pay-per-views, but when you're not watching and
the TV stuff and the promos and the backstage stuff,
exactly. Yeah, and I'm not watching all of that every week, but like I am seeing the important stuff, and like all this bloodline shit has been phenomenal. But yeah, I love that now it is truly finally crystallized for you in a moment that, again, no one fucking expected. I don't care if you maybe went out and you picked Roman Reigns to win. Like, that still is a massive upset in this situation.
Yeah, I've seen on Twitter a lot of hindsight, like 2020 goggles,
for
sure,
and
a lot of people are being like, oh, well, I told you, I don't think it was Cody's time. And, they wanted to do the 1,000 days thing. And Cody, he needs to like really earn it, But I mean, it's obviously a pretty controversial choice. A lot of people just straight up do not like it. And that one guy in the press conference last night, articulated that question pretty well, where he was like, this could be a big moment where Cody could be like one of your lasting baby faces.
Yep.
Which, like, do you think Cody is a wrestler on the caliber of like you're like John Cena or The Rock or any of those like big baby faces? Which I am not sure that he is. Just,
I'd say he's a half step down at least. At least. Yeah. I don't think he is that top of the top guy. He's fucking close, and everything he's done in the last several years has been so impressive. And for him to walk back into WWE and be, the main eventer right away is impressive, and the crowd is on his side. But no, I don't think he's quite at that level. And I am happier with this outcome in hindsight.
Oh yeah, I think it's way more interesting.
And I like Cody for sure, and I, of course, like everyone else, thought he was going to win, and this was the time and the moment to pull the trigger. But on the other hand, as Triple H said, the story is not over. We're just entering the next chapter. But I do get the people that are upset and, not striking when the iron is hot. And what if Cody gets hurt again? Or, XYZ could happen that, he maybe doesn't get to this pinnacle again. But I have a feeling he is. I have a feeling he's probably still going to be the one to take it off him. In my mind, right away, I'm like, Backlash. He's going to get his rematch. He deserves it after the interference. But there's the whole 1,000 days thing, which would need to be beyond that. I don't know what the exact number is.
And then at that point, the story would be robbing him of that.
Yes.
You know, I think if they want to build that up to like, oh yeah, like this win is what like robs him at the finish line
Yes.
of 1,000 days, like that could be, you know,
Yeah.
something you lean into. Like,
I mean, but I also get the side of this needs to happen at a big show. So a lot of people are saying SummerSlam, which certainly makes sense, but I would personally love to see it at like a Backlash or something like that. I mean, you know, everyone's still going to be super invested. Everyone's going to be watching no matter what, but I get it. But I love it, you know, because where does it go from here? What does Cody say tonight? You know, it certainly seems like we're probably going to have a Cody, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens against the Usos and Roman. I could definitely see that going on at Backlash because, you know, the Usos are going to want their tag titles back. You know, you have a contractual rematch. So, I mean, this obviously the bloodline story is not over. If Reigns would have lost, okay, you know, let's all go our separate ways, but we're still very much in it. It's still very much going to be thrilling, I think. Cody certainly ain't going to fucking lie down after that shit.
no.
And yeah, Kevin and Sammy, you know, they came out to help him. They'd already kind of been sowing the seeds of that trio being on the same page. So continue to stay strapped in. But yeah, like very, very few times can wrestling absolutely floor me like that did. And for me, as I'm a fan, like that to me is so much more important than Cody getting the win. I know I'm in the minority here, but man, that was just a special moment. And like you said, a great fucking match the whole way. Like it went 30, just under 35. It was like 34, 50 something, locked in from the moment go. I don't know if I'm going to call it a 5-star match. I put it at 4 3/4 just because it was, you know, it was just so fucking good. But yeah, I agree. It's probably Roman's best match of this entire reign, I think. And, you know, Cody, got to give that guy credit. I mean, he is an incredible babyface performer, no doubt about it. An incredible in-ring storyteller. You know, he's not your Kenny Omegas or your Ray Phoenixes or whomever the else that's going to wow you. You know, he's your more old school type of wrestler, but the motherfucker can get you invested in him. And yeah, I fucking loved it. And yeah, you mentioned the press conference earlier. I thought that was just very interesting and quite fascinating as well.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. You know, and like I had said previously on here that like for Cody's win, like that would be WWE going for the big sports moment where like it would be on ESPN. Like you'd go to your ESPN on your, you know, phone, and that would be the top headline. You know, Roman Reigns loses the belt after 900 some odd days. But yeah, this was more of a wrestling moment. This was more of a moment meant to do something to wrestling fans as opposed to transcending the sport.
Yes.
You know, this is more of a message to them, you know, and then Triple H said that, you know, which I thought was, you know, a great comment, you know, the whole narrative with Cody was finish the story. I mean, there was a fucking sign up, you know, that was always on TV, finish the story. No, the story always kind of continues. So that was sort of the main point or the thesis of it. And yeah, no, I respect the shit out of that.
Yeah. And we talked about like, I wonder when that decision was made, you know, because in the press conference, I can't remember what he said, you know, about losing sleep, you know, about this keeps me up at night. And I'm sure, you know, he's been thinking about this nonstop since he took this job. You know, when's Roman going to lose the belt? What are we doing in our main event of WrestleMania? But I wonder if it was like, you know, if that decision had been made weeks in advance or if it's like, fuck it, we're going with Roman here, you know, night before, 2 days before, whatever it may be. Like that shit is just fascinating to me. But one other point, you kind of started to hint at it is, yes, Cody did earn this by winning the Royal Rumble, but he has had very little obstacles since he's joined the WWE other than his pectoral injury. You know, he came over in a massive spot at WrestleMania, beat Seth Rollins, arguably your most popular superstar, 3 straight times. Gets hurt, wins the Royal Rumble, walks into the main event at WrestleMania, and he fucking loses. I love that, you know? Like, it shouldn't be that easy.
It shouldn't be a coronation or anything like that.
And again, not to say that Cody doesn't deserve it, because I truly believe he does deserve it and has earned this spot. Right. But it was all looking very easy. And this was a very New Japan style of booking. Wrestle Kingdom 12, Tetsuya Naito coming off winning the G1, most popular wrestler in Japan at that time. Crowds are fucking boiling for him. Goes up against Okada in the main event. Everyone assumes he's going to win. And it was a similar type reaction. That one for me was a little more heartbreaking because I was 1,000% invested in Naito at that time. And then Naito won it 2 years later at Wrestle Kingdom to truly culminate a 6-year story for him and Okada.
Yeah.
But the payoff was that much sweeter. And I fucking bawled in my bed on a Sunday morning watching that match. So, yes, like I said, it sucks for everyone that wanted Cody to win. And I understand the anger and all that. But just relax. The story continues, like Paul said. And I have utmost faith in that man, even though our boy Vince is now going to be a part of creative, and we'll address the sale here in a bit. But I have so much faith in Triple H and what he's doing that this is all going to work out. I mean, shit, let's go back to Clash at the Castle. I was fucking upset that Drew didn't win it, and I thought at that point Drew was the right call in the right time, and now they did it again. So we shall see, Yeah, I fucking love it. It's great. Beautiful. Yep. And people are fucking mad.
They are. Yeah. I mean, like so many people, like so many of those dumb, reply bait tweets. They were like, how would you rate WrestleMania out of 10? And like a lot of people were like, whoa, it's a 10 up until the main event, then a 0.
Oh,
it was that sort of reaction. That hyperbolic shit,
There's so many, there's like probably 25 votes on Cage Match for that match of a 0.
Wow. So they're literally review bombing it is what they're doing.
Exactly. I want to give Justin a shout out. Hey, what up, playa? Hope you're doing well. Hope you enjoyed the show. Great fucking weekend of wrestling. But yeah, it's fascinating, and I can't wait. Anything else on this before we move on?
No, I think that's pretty much what I think.
Let's just go right into the sale then, because I think that's the second biggest topic. And of course, today, the news kind of broke yesterday, shortly before WrestleMania. I think it was CNBC mentioned that Endeavor, the company that owns UFC, is purchasing WWE and will merge the two companies under one umbrella. And that is done today. Vince was on CNBC today looking like a motherfucking pimp in his pencil mustache and his dyed hair. So fucking funny. But yeah, a note here is that Vince, I can't remember the name of the guy who's the Endeavor CEO, but he wanted Vince to be a part of this. He said he is going to be on the creative team near the top, but he says he's not going to get in the weeds. I still feel that Triple H will be the guy that has the final say. Who really knows? But, I think Vince is there for more of the business side of things because the guy has dedicated his whole life to this, and he certainly knows what he's doing to some regard. But yeah, again, fascinating. I'm glad it's not the Saudis. Yeah. It'll be very interesting to see if there's some UFC, WWE, more crossover type stuff, because why not? You are the same company now. I think this is great for the industry as a whole. Again, I'm not someone who's read too much or any into like the business ramifications of all this, but, seems like a pretty nice fit and gonna, again, be interesting to see what changes, if anything. I think it's going to be, there's going to be a several month transition process here. Right. But what's kind of just your first reaction to all this?
I mean, as someone who doesn't really follow UFC at all, I can't really talk about how the personnel will mesh. I'm kind of more interested in how this affects the TV because, Raw's been on USA forever. And I know they got the deal with SmackDown and Fox, and I guess is NXT on USA as well. That's on the undercarriage. But like UFC stuff has always been on ESPN. And ESPN is certainly bigger than Universal, Viacom, what the fuck ever, that Peacock is, So I know there's the WWE network that's with Peacock. I just kind of wonder, like Disney is a bigger fucking company. They own ESPN. So I just kind of wonder, where that tilt sort of happens, because I wouldn't think that they would be kind of on two different sort of television platforms. So I'm thinking, ESPN, like AEW's in bed with Turner and what is it, Viacom Columbia or whatever that conglomerate
Warner
is.
Brothers is the
Warner Brothers,
big
yeah,
parent,
Warner Brothers, yeah. And I think, I think ultimately, if it's money and if it's just, a large organization, I would imagine ESPN would win out over Peacock,
Yeah.
So, I'd
And I
be
don't know
interested
like how long the rights deals are and all
because
that.
they have a deal with Fox for some time. And I imagine like
Yeah.
that SmackDown deal is big for them,
Oh,
just
for sure. To be
getting
on
their,
the main Fox network.
yeah, to be
Yeah.
on network TV on Friday night.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but I do think like the days on the undercarriage may be numbered. The
Yeah.
days of Monday Night Raw. And I
Imagine
don't,
if Monday Night Raw was on ESPN, or
I
it would
don't,
probably
I
be
don't
like ESPN two or
two,
something. But
two,
yeah,
or like kind of a different offshoot channel.
yeah,
ESPN Fight or whatever, or
yeah,
if they decide to do something else.
it'd be huge.
Yeah, it would be huge, and I think like that would be that would just be a lot more viewers because the undercarriage is just like bad movies and bad TV shows and just a bunch of horse shit. But yeah, I mean ESPN would, I think, just get a lot more like passing casual viewers,
Yeah,
just by virtue of just it being a channel that more people frequent. There'd be ads on in it, Monday
all
Night
the
Football
games. Yeah,
games. Yeah, there'd
which
be
AEW has that advantage for,
well,
like,
well,
the NBA on Turner and all that.
yeah,
Like
and
March Madness, they were hyping up AEW
yeah,
the whole
and,
tournament.
and people, yeah, that's what they do. They mention it. Like if you ever listen to ESPN and like announcers at a football game or a college basketball game will mention like Star Wars
Yep.
a lot. Like we'll compare like some guy will be, oh, he's a real Darth Vader or something like that. Like there's like, that
Just like
sort of
we do on this
big
show.
yeah, there's that big, huge, tent of it, that like I think, like with the Disney IPs and ESPN. So like I think like I said, I'm no expert in television deals or how long their contracts are, but I'm interested how that affects it. And
For sure.
I would wager to say that it would.
And will there, I've seen people scuttlebutting about, will there be like a joint WWE and UFC network, which would be awesome.
Yeah,
Like I'm someone who I've followed UFC pretty diligently
yeah,
from like 2010 to 15. Admittedly, I don't really much at all anymore.
yeah,
A little bit more now, just because I see stuff from Dan Bakley at Cage My IQ, Circle of Debate. Those guys are always talking about it and posting, so I see more of it, but I haven't really watched a ton. But
right.
I don't know. I may watch a little more now, just for no real reason, I guess, other than like who knows what on that end could maybe change. I
Yeah,
don't know. But a network with the two together, I think, would be great for just fans of both all around. And
yeah,
especially if they have like old UFC fights on it and shit, like,
yeah,
because that would interest me.
yeah,
Go back and watch some of the fights when I was following, or great fights of the past. But yeah, again, I don't think we need to talk too much more about this. It'll be fascinating, the TV thing, and then like just
yeah.
the on-screen product of WWE. Like, do you even really notice a change? What does Vince truly start getting his fingers into? I don't know. It's going to be interesting though, and good. Obviously, they timed it with WrestleMania with good reason. Which Azar brought up the point that also happened when Vince bought WCW. It happened like the week before WrestleMania 17. But yeah, cool.
Yeah, it'll be that'll be fascinating to see how that plays out.
Well, let's run through both nights of WrestleMania here. Obviously, we talked about the main event already, but we'll go through it, and then I want to just mention, I know you didn't watch anything else, but just kind of talk through, or at least mention some stuff from Ring of Honor and other shows this weekend I watched, and then we'll just talk quickly about Dynamite last week because it was pretty good, and I was there. So, but WrestleMania, I guess they're calling it WrestleMania Saturday and Sunday as opposed to night 1 and 2, but I just call it night 1 and 2. But
yeah,
a combined 160 plus thousand announced. Crowds were great, especially night 1. I mean, night 1 definitely a better show overall.
Yeah,
and for us, we had more of a party atmosphere. I think there were like 7 of us watching night 1. Certainly having a few more drinks that night than last night, just me, you, and Addie. But great weekend, great times with the fellas watching wrestling.
Yes.
But I don't know why this doesn't have. Okay, card with guide. 1 second. Why does it not have the fucking times? Hold on. I'm pulling up the matches here, but night one started with Austin Theory defeating John Cena it was like 12 minutes and change. Again, I'm trying to pull this motherfucking piece of shit up here.
Yeah.
11:20. Match was okay. I'd say for night one, definitely one of the two weakest matches, but the crowd set the tone here. They were hot for John Cena, and I think that kind of kept them, the crowd was great all night, like I said. So I am glad that Theory did retain. I didn't really want to see Cena win it and then maybe drop it right back. I think Theory deserved that spot. But, Cena, this was no epic match. It was 11 minutes.
It was pretty, for his team, pretty phoned in is, I guess, maybe the wrong word for it. But it was just kind of, like
paint by numbers, just like didn't really, I don't know. It was fine.
It was,
it was a bit disappointing, but it wasn't a bad match by any means.
And I don't think, like it really put Austin Theory as over as it wanted to.
Yeah.
I think like it kind of held serve a little bit with that versus like really being a crowning moment for him. So that was a bit of a missed opportunity.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool to see Cena, of course. His bald spot, definitely a big topic of conversation. But it was what it was. Theory got the dub, which was good. But yeah, nothing too much to write home about.
Yeah.
Second match, the Fatal 4-Way WrestleMania Showcase Tag. Street Profits defeated Alpha Academy, Braun Strowman, and Ricochet and the Viking Raiders in 8:28. Very fun match. I mean,
this was fun.
We're only getting 8 minutes as well. I
very
think it was
action-packed, exciting.
Great showcase for all, and that massive, wacky, big superplex spot in the corner definitely got us going, especially our buddy Dan, who was jerking off to that. I thought this was a ton of fun here, and Street Profits I thought was the right pick here as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, what'd you think?
Yeah, no, I kind of thought this was, like a good, like much needed injection, like in ring of like, the crowd gave the Cena Theory match energy, but this I think was really kind of what kicked things off in terms of like night one's very nice spry flow.
Yes.
The Street Profits are what's up. Braun Strowman's an idiot. Ricochet's cool. Like it was a pretty fun, a balance of things. A little crowded at times, but I was
watching Otis waddle down that ramp was pretty funny.
Ham tits
Otis, fucking waddling his ass down there. But no, very, very fun. Like you said, exciting, action-packed match that really was kind of like just following that tone set by the first match. But this one was much more energetic, much better match overall. Yes. Everyone really got to show their strengths in this match. Montez and Ricochet doing some crazy high flying shit. Tons of Viking Raiders looked really cool coming out. They would have been my second pick to win because they're a solid team, and admittedly I don't watch as much SmackDown, so I haven't really seen too much of them. And interesting that this wasn't for a tag team title shot, even though that was kind of separate from all this. And like I said earlier, I'm guessing the Usos will get a rematch, in the very near future. But Street Profits, right team here, and don't break them up. I know that's been a lot of scuttlebutt because Montez Ford's performance in the Elimination Chamber, and the guy is going to be a single star. But just because of that, you don't need to break them up. They can both be singles guys. So they're hot. The fans love them. No need to turn Dawkins heel. So that's my thought on that.
Yeah.
And match number 3. Whoa. Get that conductor out there, which we mentioned, like, why not bring in
the whole orchestra instead of just doing the crowd?
Or like just some singers. like actual just singers, that rather than it was just piped in noise coming from the speaker and the crowd was following it. But a cool gesture that
and people don't know how to follow the conductor.
Yeah.
You know, like you know, like it's you know something that people just do.
Yeah.
And you know, like there's apparently like a pretty like big form to it and stuff.
Oh,
so yeah, I would like to have seen like some you know sort of music that the crowd could go with instead of like relying on the crowd to do that.
But Seth Rollins defeated Logan Paul with KSI in the prime bottle in 16 minutes, 16 seconds. High five, Tom.
Hi, Tom.
Holy shit. How does YouTube allow so much sexiness on my screen? Oh my God. Don't make me blush. Thank you, Tom. Yeah, this was great. This was really cool. I thought Logan, you know, looked as good as he ever has here. I thought the prime bottle was hilarious.
Yep.
Admittedly, I did not know who KSI was.
Yeah, I don't know who this guy is.
But I guess he's like he co-owns Prime with him.
Yeah, yeah.
He was like another like internet boxer guy.
Yeah.
But anyway, I thought that was a nice aesthetic. Seth's outfit, like the all pink with that draping robe and that whatever top he had on before as well. Looked like an old Jeff Jarrett top. But yeah, great match here. Just very energetic, good pace. You know, Logan jumping around, showing off his skills again per usual. And of course, the moment outside where he's setting up on the table and Rollins is on there and he pulls KSI down and he frog splashes as a boy through the table.
Yeah, that was a fun moment.
Very, very fun moment. But yeah, and he did Logan kicked out of the pedigree and Seth kicked out of the big frog splash and the knockout punch. You know, he's got screws in his hands.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, but I'd say this match accomplished exactly what it needed to. Very entertaining. Your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I thought that you know, as with like the last few Logan Paul matches, they've all been again very entertaining. Like from a wrestling standpoint, I mean, these two seem to be matched up pretty well against each other. Like you know, if you would have said that like over a year ago, you'd think whoever said that was crazy.
Yeah,
and yeah, you know, like these guys, you know, seem to produce some really good fun matches. I mean, I think ultimately I want to see Seth Rollins do bigger and better things than going up against the meme guy. But yeah, you know, that's you know, like I said, pretty solid, like a sort of a good you know, pace holder of all this. Yeah.
And now I think that is the big question. And I mean, we're going to be saying this a lot. Where do you go from here with Seth? You know, he is clearly one of your top stars. As of now, Roman still has both belts. You know, they could find a way. You know, that's been a huge topic. How are they eventually going to split these belts? Because it's technically only the Universal title that he's had for 900 plus days.
Right.
But Seth should be challenging for a world championship. No more U.S. title, you know. So how does he fit in? Where does he go? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, does he challenge Roman again? I can't imagine he would before Cody. And then you also have the fact that Cody beat this motherfucker 3 times.
Yeah.
You know, so he doesn't really have much of a qualm with Cody either.
There's a pecking order there.
Yeah. I mean, again, this is a guy that should be booked at the top. I mean, I'm assuming there might be some shuffling going on with the rosters. So maybe you move him to SmackDown or something. But I'm with you. I want to see bigger and better things for Seth because, you know, he'd been not toiling, but, you know, doing the U.S. title thing with like Theory and Big Bob for a few months and now the Logan Paul thing for a few months. And gotta imagine that's it. That's that. So, yeah, going to be very intriguing to see where because he's not really associated at all with any of this bloodline story either. So, I don't know. Going to be interesting.
It will be.
Okay, next match was Becky Lynch, Lita, Trish Stratus defeating Damage Control, Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky in 14 and a half minutes. I'll admit I was pretty disappointed by this match. Other than Trish, holy shit, Trish looked like $1 trillion. Wow.
Yeah, put Charlotte Flair to shame in that regard. You know, like man, like I mean, this was just kind of. You know, once again, like the Cena Theory one, like one of the average matches on the card. You know, it was just kind of, It did what it needed
had
to
its
do.
moments.
Yeah,
but
it did. But yeah, I mean, it was just kind of a vehicle, I think, to get Trish back. And I think, a lot of it was sort of just set around that. And
So I wanted to see the Damage Control team win because they're all current superstars. They're all really good, and they haven't won a lot of matches. Bailey has been on the losing end a lot. This team, when they've had trios matches, they continue to lose. I mean, fucking Becky and Lita, I love Lita, but she can't hang anymore. This is now 2 matches where she has looked bad. It just is what it is.
It is.
So I don't really want or need to see Lita anymore. I don't know. I figured Damage Control would win. They could get their tag titles back. Now I'm almost thinking maybe you got to break them up because they keep fucking losing. And I don't like it. But match was fine otherwise.
Here. Yeah. No, I think it's, fairly, when it comes to, the rest of the night one, fairly unremarkable.
And just back to Seth real quick. Tom says Seth is the top 10 best wrestler of our generation, literally the entire package. Can't disagree. Plus, his school is very important here in the Midwest, and very prominent here in the Midwest, and he's giving back to the scene that made him, which you got to love to hear. Great points there, Tommy. And obviously, there was the rumor of maybe Trish turning, which, that would have been fine as long as Damage Control won, but that didn't happen. So who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
It was fine. Okay, next we have father versus son, the shut up match here, which saw Rey Mysterio defeat Dominic Mysterio. 14 and a half minutes. Very, very fun stuff here overall. Starting with Dominic's entrance, which I thought was great. Picking him up from the correctional facility.
Yeah. The van that just did correction.
Having the guards with him. I thought that was all great. The video package telling the story I thought was really great.
Yeah.
Ray coming out in the lowrider with Snoop Dogg as an homage to Eddie Guerrero. Great. And the match itself, it was definitely very storyline driven, and I picked Dominic to win. But I think this was the right, the feel good moment here. I think was the right call,
especially on his Hall of Fame day. I guess that makes sense.
I just kind of looked at it the other way of Dominic like ruining his Hall of Fame induction, but I think this was the right move. Wouldn't surprise me to see them wrestle again and Dominic get the win. But we had Finn and Priest come out, and then now LWO, the Lucha what is it? Is it Lucha World Order? I can't even remember. Latino World Order.
No.
Which started in like 98 in WCW. They're bringing that back, it's the Legado del Fantasma guys, Santos Escobar, and I think they've changed names. But anyway, there's some clusterfucky shit going around with all that. We had Dominic throw the drink in his sister's face.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a very, very fun, enjoyable, entertaining 15-minute match here that, again, nice feel-good moment. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think this was, pretty entertaining. This one had kind of Ellie's story, like what I followed recently. I guess the most, intrigue for me.
Shut up!
Yeah, and I thought it was, I mean, I thought this was like plenty exciting enough, and not the best match of the night at all, but
no.
But yeah,
very. And we had Bad Bunny getting.
And Bad Bunny. Oh
yeah. He took. Dominic had that steel chain, and he just like took it from him basically, which led to Ray hitting the drop kick, the 619, and the top rope splash for the victory. But just good stuff here, I thought.
Yeah, I agree.
And he got to celebrate with his daughter and wife. And they also hyped up that Backlash is going to be in Puerto Rico on May 6th and hosted by Bad Bunny.
Oh, yeah. No, that should be fun.
Yeah, that will be fun.
This last show, I guess it's been a while since they said it in the press conference, didn't they?
Yeah, it's been a while, especially like a big pay-per-view event. So, Okay. And the final two, well, I guess there was Pat McAfee and The Miz, which we'll talk about in between these two. But the true final two matches of the night were definitely the best two matches of the night, and both very, very, very good matches here. To start, we have my mommy, Rhea Ripley, winning the SmackDown's Women's Championship SmackDown Women's Championship from the Hoth, Charlotte Flair, in 23 minutes, 34 seconds. Wow. This exceeded. I mean, I thought this was going to be a pretty good match, but I did not think this was going to be a great match. And this was a great match.
Yeah, it definitely exceeded it. It definitely, was just sort of a level above what I thought it was going to be. And I know people are pretty down on Charlotte, and there was a lot of criticism about plastic surgery and stuff like that. But I thought she turned in a good effort.
She can wrestle,
man.
Yeah,
she can wrestle,
absolutely, yeah. We were poking a little fun at her.
Well, I felt like a little the entire internet was.
I mean, her face looked bad. Let's just be honest. But she could fucking wrestle, and she's always been able to wrestle when she wants to truly dial it in. She's a big match wrestler. We know Rhea's fucking great. They had the match at WrestleMania 36, which was the COVID WrestleMania in front of no fans, and it was one of the best matches of that night. And this obviously far exceeded that. Very hard hitting, a lot of big moves. Rhea did the flip over German where Charlotte fucking face planted hard. Probably did her a favor. But again, I feel like I want to rewatch this match because again, we were little buzzed at this point in the night, but I feel like, past the 10-12 minute mark, that second half of the match was just nuts. And it's then the first few were all kind of ripping on Charlotte. And then I remember at one point I'm like, guys, this is a really fucking good match. And then get to the final 5 minutes, holy shit. But yeah, it's just great stuff here. I can't off the top of my head, I can't really remember any specific spots, but there was a spear, there was Charlotte in the figure 4, I remember. Fans were very much into this, but I'm going to say this is one of the best WWE women's matches ever, period.
Wow.
So yeah, kudos to both of them. And again, I could not be happier for Rhea Ripley. She's so fucking good. She deserves it. Your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think she deserves it too. No, I think she's great, and I'm kind of glad that she finally was able to get this moment. Because I think a lot of the other people who've had it have just been WWE's women's division still, by and large, better than AEW's, but there's still I don't know, like Bianca Belair's a great talent at the top of it, but I mean it's the big people, whenever you talk about the top of the top of the top. There's not as many there, but Rhea Ripley's one of those, and I'm glad she finally got her coronating moment.
Yes, absolutely. Well, and interesting because she's been on Raw. She wins the SmackDown title. Will they break up Judgment Day? Because they're a Raw group. Be interesting. I mean, maybe I don't know. I doubt she'll be going on both shows, but I mean, maybe. So, but that'll be something to look out for. Is does the Judgment Day stay intact? I mean, Finn got his win, and obviously Rhea got hers, but Dominic did not. So we shall see. And yeah, quickly we'll talk about the Miz Pat McAfee. When Miz came out with Snoop, it's something's going to happen here. I thought it would maybe be LA Knight because that's a name that wasn't on the show that a lot of people had been clamoring for.
Yeah.
But it was Pat McAfee, which was cool. I mean, we knew this was just basically just a moment for the audience to catch their breath before the main event.
Yeah,
and
it was fun.
He beat the Miz in 3.5 minutes. Yeah, Michael Cole doing his jumping up and down as he was coming out gave us a big laugh, but
loves his buddy.
He really does. But let's just go into the main event of the evening, and for me, the best match of either night, and that would be Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn coming together and defeating the Usos in 24 minutes 17 seconds to win the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championships. I know they'd had the belts for over 500 days. I'm not exactly sure the number, but this was, I thought, perfect. I thought the crowd was just dialed in from the moment go. I thought the action was amazing. Again, this is another one. Definitely going to have to rewatch this one, but I loved the ending. With Sammy getting the win, the 3 haluva kicks over Jey Uso. I thought that to me was what should have happened. Those are the two focal points of this whole thing. Obviously, Jimmy's been in it a lot too, but like the Jey Uso Sami Zayn is like the true heart of this story. And I thought that was just a fucking perfect way to end it. So great to see Kevin and Sami together on the same page, wrestling at a high level, because that has not happened in quite a long time. And yeah, what a fucking moment for sure. Just incredible stuff. I went 5 stars on this because, again, just in the moment, it was perfection. It was everything I wanted to see, and the action itself was just so fucking good. But yeah, what'd you think?
Yeah, no, I think like what was the last pay-per-view where we watched, like when Sami Zayn, I guess, went back with KO or turned on the bloodline or told Roman to stop, and Roman gave him the chair.
That was Royal Rumble. That was Royal Rumble.
It's Royal Rumble. Okay, so yeah, I'd followed that, and that was pretty exciting and pretty good. And I think this seemed to be a good sort of culminating moment of this story. I mean, it was an excellent match. That had a really like satisfying ending, and I kind of think now in comparison with the Roman Cody result, they kind of gave you this.
This was the pinnacle babyface crowning moment.
Yeah. And honestly, like I feel like this is a little bit more like I feel like the Cody one was more of like a traditional track, but like this kind of had a lot more of the story behind it.
Yeah.
I think it was an excellent moment, and I think just a great way to cap off 9-1. And I agree with you, it was my favorite match of the weekend.
Yeah, and Sami was in the one in there taking a beating for the majority of the match, which again made perfect sense. Number of hot tags, just great shit. Yeah, again, I'll need to rewatch it to truly recall everything. But again, in the moment, that was just a special match, and yeah, great shit. And yeah, leave the fans going home happy on this one. And unfortunately, not night 2. But yeah, now that it's all said and done, like, frankly, I couldn't be happier about all this. Like, again, slightly bummed that Cody didn't win it. But like I said earlier, the shock value to me is better and more interesting to me. And I truly, Cody's going to win the WWE title at some point, obviously. Like, I'm sure that was like the biggest sticking point in him signing is that's why I'm here. You're going to give it to me, but it didn't have to be right now. So, but Kevin and Sami, they got the job done. Like I said, I assume we're going to get a 6-man tag probably at Backlash, which would be amazing. But yeah, great stuff. And yeah, I mentioned earlier night 1 being just the flow, the pacing of night 1. Night 2, it felt like they were killing a lot of time, especially down the stretch.
Yeah.
But this one, it was action-packed. I mean, the two, the opener with Cena and Theory, and then the women's six woman were the 2 weakest matches, but they were both right around the 3-star level, and they were both entertaining enough. Like, neither of them were bad matches. So, and you had 2. I mean, I had 4, 7, 5, and 5 on those last 2, plus the Seth and then the tag team. It's a great fucking match, or a great fucking show. And even Dave Meltzer tweeted like that was one of the best nights of WrestleMania I've ever seen, and can't disagree. It was awesome.
Probably my favorite night that I've seen. Out of all the ones I've watched.
Yeah, and especially since they've gone the 2-night route for these last 4, this is the best night of all of them. But let's roll into night 2 here. Let me switch. Which, again, we're not going to cover the main event again because we've already been through that. Okay, here we go. Night 2 opened with the Beaumont Rand Invitational.
Oh, yeah.
Brock Lesnar defeating Omos in 4 minutes, 55 seconds.
That was literally the best match of all time. It had a great result. I kicked the entire time. I was invested in every millisecond. And it wasn't as stupid as it could have been. Like, it
really was. It really wasn't. It was fine.
Yeah, I mean, they gave Brock Lesnar I think it was all about look at Brock Lesnar lift the big guy up.
Oh, that was what they've been building towards for a month. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just like, like relatively inconsequential, and I just don't know
under 5 minutes.
Yeah, and like, I just don't know who really likes to see this shit. It's just Like compared to all the other stuff, it just seems kind of like big and dumb.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I picked Omos to win because just like, what are we doing here if he doesn't? And again,
Yeah.
all of that just kind of felt pointless to me when it was done. Yeah, it was short. Yeah, it was a cool moment seeing Brock F5 him, but is anyone really going to remember this shit in 2 or 3
No.
months? No. And there's all this talk of maybe Brock Lesnar's about done with WWE, so that also kind of made me think maybe he'll put over Omos. I mean, clearly he's not done yet. Like, he's not going to go out on this match, but yeah, it's fine. We don't need to talk anymore about it.
Nope.
And so again, both openers not the greatest on either show, but in it, both shows followed up with the tag team extravaganza, what have you. And this one of the women's was Ronda and Shayna defeat Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Natalia, and Shotzi, 8:23. So again, 8 minutes and change. Match was okay. It wasn't nearly as good as the men's match. I felt like Ronda Rousey didn't do a fucking thing until the very end, and she tapped out. I don't even remember who it was in like 1 second. Raquel and Liv had some cool moments. Yeah, that's all I got. But kind of just opening with a couple of duds here. Obviously, the next two matches are very, very good, but just I think they could have.
Yeah, this one's forgettable.
Better, yes.
Yeah, this was forgettable because they wanted to get kind of, at least like in terms of hype, just kind of this stuff out of the way, and like this really sort of set the tone for like a really like strangely flowing night. Like it just like I never really like got to a point where it was just sort of like one thing leading into the next in a very excitingly and paced way where you had a lot of exciting stuff and then you had a catch a breath moment. It was just kind of like it felt like they knew that the main event was going to be a big fucking deal and that like you were going to be anticipating that no matter what they did. So yeah, I do feel like they this night could have been,
so many like long ad breaks. And I mean, obviously they did like right before the main event, they did the Hall of Fame thing where they trot everyone out, but put that earlier in the show. Like it felt like there was like a half hour in between the second to last match and the last match starting, just with all the bullshit that was happening. But we'll save that. These next two matches were great. And this next one was very, very great. And that was Gunther defeating Drew McIntyre and Sheamus in 16 minutes, 36 seconds. I wanted Sheamus to win. Didn't bother me. This match was fucking awesome. This is exactly what we expected. Hamburger chests, bludgeoning each other. That sell that Drew had when he took really ended up being like 20 beats of the Bowery and he just fucking collapsed. So many big fucking chops, suplexes. What about how I mentioned it from the top? Drew stood out as the biggest fucking dude in this match.
Well, I think Gunther lost so much weight. I think that's sort of the big contrast there.
Yeah, but this was excellent. Amazing stuff. Yeah, Gunther would kind of like took a nap for a little bit towards the end because it was really Sheamus and Drew heavy, and then he kind of came in out of nowhere and swooped in. And
that was my only like significant criticism of this match was that he was just kind of like gone
a little too long.
Yeah, gone a little too long, and just like you didn't see him at all. Like like the camera wasn't on him, and it was just a little obvious.
Yes,
that they were going to try to hide him until the end.
I agree with that. That is like the one thing I didn't love, maybe prevented it. I went 4 3/4 on this one as well. I've seen plenty of people giving it 5 stars. I can't blame them. The action was unbelievable. It didn't take a breath, but yeah, you're right. Like, I get what they're doing, having Gunther kind of off screen for a bit and sliding in and picking up the win totally. But I would have liked to see him a little more involved down the stretch for those final minutes. But very small nitpick. I mean, this match was amazing and, pretty similar to the Sheamus Gunther match, from Clash at the Castle. All 3 guys here looked fucking awesome. Drew looked fucking great. I've just wanted Sheamus to get that win just because of the story they were telling last year. But hey, story goes on. And, they're clearly doing with Gunther what they're doing with Roman, Bianca, not to the 1,000-day degree, I'm sure, but they're making Triple H has fucking put a flag in the ground on who his bastions are, who his stars are, and I'm totally okay with that. So
yeah,
this was awesome. Good shit.
This is great. Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, you got anything else to add here?
Not in particular. Yeah, nothing off the top of my head currently.
Cool. Yeah, and then okay, so before we get to this next match, well, I'll announce it, but Bianca Belair defeats Asuka 15:58 to retain the Raw Women's Championship. But Bianca's entrance with the little girls dancing
was so
fucking
cool.
awesome. And then to realize in the press conference after the match that the little girl, he called her the contortionist, which I'm guessing the one that kind of did the flip over the
right, all that stuff.
Her mother had passed away that morning.
That morning. Yeah. So yeah,
just crazy for her to still go out there in front of 80,000 people and kill it and be with your friends. And I'm about to tear up. Like, just what a. I don't know that, and then Triple H saying like that's why we do this. That's what it's all about. Like that's just so cool. And I can't remember her name, but all prayers and good vibes and thoughts to you and your family.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But even before we knew that, like it's like this is so cool. Like all these girls are one crushing it out there, two in front, 80,000 people, biggest moment of their lives, I'm sure. They all had the Bianca hair ponytail whip. But yeah, great stuff. That's a fucking WrestleMania entrance for you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I did pick Bianca to win here. I wanted Asuka to win. Surprising, Asuka's 0-5 at WrestleMania now. I did not realize that was the case. But
like in singles, or because has she always done singles, or has she done tag teams?
She's had a lot of big matches at WrestleManias. So like Charlotte ended her like big long undefeated streak. So she's had a few title matches, but 0-5. So, but again, I thought the action here was great. They had the spot where she missed the mist, if you will.
Yeah.
Bianca definitely showed off her strength quite a bit. Asuka had the big code breaker. But yeah, I thought this was really, really fun. Good shit. Hell, just props to the two women's singles matches because both
of them were top notch.
Yeah, I mean, night one, the Charlotte was definitely better than this. I had this one at 4.25, but again, great shit here.
Yeah.
Bianca officially hits a year on her reign. So we'll see
how
that. Yeah, because she won it off Becky at WrestleMania last year. So
yeah.
And we shall see.
Yeah, it was really cool stuff.
Yeah, it was good. And then we had Snoop and The Miz come out again. And that's when I'm like, oh, this has got to be LA Knight. And here comes the money. It's Shane O'Mac. It's good to see Shane. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
He's coming down and they ring the bell and Shane does a leapfrog over the Miz.
Which was super impressive when he did it. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, Michael Cole, I think, is like, Shane, he still got it. And then immediately after, he fucking
fell and just crumbled. Yeah.
Like the perfect timing of Michael Cole saying, he's still got it. And then within a split second, he goes, and then he tries to get back up. And it obviously just fucking ripped his quad off.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we were laughing. I feel bad for him, obviously.
I do too.
That sucks. But
there's a lot of energy. He came out and was like scuttling around.
Again, I can't imagine going out and doing anything in front of 80,000 people.
Yeah. But for it to end that abruptly was just like, oh my God.
And I mean, what is funny is that I mentioned it last night. Vince at the 2005 Royal Rumble, it was Batista and Cena both got eliminated at the same time. So he's coming down for the ruling and he's all pissed off and he throws his jacket. And he fucking banged his quad up against the ring as he got in, and he tried to stand up, and same thing, just fucking crumbled to the ground.
Yeah.
Just thought it was kind of funny that it was the exact same injury.
Same injury.
But yeah, tough break for Shane. But all credit to Snoop Dogg there. really just picking it up right away. He's like, gets over, you okay, man? And like clearly realized he wasn't. And then he's just like, all right, fuck it, I'll take you out. And he gives the Miz the slowest but wonderful people's elbow and ends up getting the W. And credit to the Miz for,
exactly. 100%.
Doing his thing, looking like a, piece of shit out there, taking L's. But the Miz is the man, and all credit to him for being willing to do that. And he's
making that work.
Exactly.
That's good shit. That's really good shit.
And again, those are moments for the live crowd to like go take a piss, get a beer, just take a breath.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit going on here,
right?
So we get to the final two matches of the night. Well, I guess, again, we already talked about the main event. So this will be the last match that we talk about. Hell in a Cell.
Yes.
The normal Hell in a Cell, not the big
Cell in a Hell.
Heck on a Deck, as Dylan called it back in the day.
Yeah.
And I misspoke earlier. I said Finn got the win. Edge defeats Finn.
Yeah.
I knew that, obviously. I wanted Finn to win. I think he should have won. But Edge gets the win in 18 minutes, 8 seconds. Unfortunately, this match was like kind of a weird flow because Finn getting busted open, gushing. And did you see the picture after with his skull like split?
I did not. No.
Oh,
I guess it was worse than because I thought it was just wow.
It's like the top of his head. So clearly the ladder just hit him in a bad spot. And
no, and it was a hard hit. Like whenever he threw
for
that.
Sure. And again, kudos and credit to the ref and him and Edge,
the doctors and everyone. Yeah,
for sure. Like that's what you got to do in that moment. But fortunately, he was able to continue. But it did again kind of kill the flow of the match a little bit.
Yeah.
And I frankly don't even remember how it ended. And admittedly, I said that Finn won earlier, but he hit him with the concerto. But Finn looked fucking great. The demon, the face paint, the chest paint, everything.
All the bells and whistles.
I'm a big Edge guy, but he did not need to win this match. And
no, I don't think he needed to do that too.
The demon is always a big mystical thing that rarely loses. He did lose to Roman Reigns, which was also very dumb because he was flopping around like a fucking fish.
Yeah.
Still can't believe they made him do that. But yeah, this one as well, kind of a bummer to me. Match was okay. Wasn't great. Wasn't really fitting the bill of what a Hell in the Cell match at WrestleMania should be in your semi-main event, but it was fine. But maybe Judgment Day is going to go away now that I think about it.
It's possible.
I don't know. This, again, what does Edge gain from this?
I don't know. Not a whole lot. I feel like this feud's just sort of just been, for me, just kind of meh. And think Judgment Day, at least for me, is, a little bit cooler than, what's going on here. Yeah.
Finn Balor is just a guy that is way better than he gets booked. Plain and simple.
I completely agree. And I think I would like for this whole kind of feud to end just because, I don't know, it's not really going anywhere for me.
And if after Edge and Beth Phoenix had beaten Finn and Rhea in the mixed tag at Elimination Chamber or whenever that was, that's Finn's going to win at WrestleMania, as he should. So this is just like Damage Control. Why the fuck do these guys keep losing over and over and over? I mean, at least Rhea won, thank God.
Yeah.
But yeah, a little bummed by this one. And
I thought this was. Go ahead.
Tim King, what's up, fellas? Brett, your hog is stronger than Shane's quads. Yeah, you better fucking believe it. Sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah. Fuck, I forgot what it was going to be.
Damn it, Tim.
Yeah. How dare you, Tim?
Yeah. Well, that's WrestleMania for you.
Yep. It should have been the challenge.
Finn Balor should have won this match and been the first to challenge Cody for the title. Because where the hell do you go with Finn here?
Yeah.
I don't
it just seems like a lot of nothing to me.
Yeah. Well, that is WrestleMania. Shit. Overall, still a great
Overall,
WrestleMania.
still, like night 2 had enough high points to, like hold it together to make it, intriguing and entertaining and cool.
For sure. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
despite the weird pacing and flow of the show, I mean, I still had 2 matches at 4 3/4 and 1 at 4 1/4, and on night 1, one at 4 3/4, 1 at 5, another at 4. So like in work, excellent. A lot of story stuff. The main event, as we mentioned, probably pissed a lot more people off than it didn't, but it was
it did.
fucking shocking and wonderful in my opinion. And they got us talking. We're going to keep talking. We're going to keep watching. We kind of talked right before we hit the record button that we may shift our focus a little bit more towards WWE for this next month or so, since we've got almost 2 months till Double or Nothing. I mean, I'll obviously still be watching Dynamite every week as usual, but you're going to kind of be watching a little more Raw, maybe.
Yeah. Like I was saying earlier, I'm a little bit more interested in like the immediate sense what happens with this story than just kind of with what's going on in AEW. Not to shit on what's going on in AEW or to say it's
I think that
but
AEW's got
there's a little bit more gravity
going on.
Yeah.
Obviously, we'll be watching some of the national championship game tonight, but I'll be tuning into Raw at some point, probably finishing it tomorrow. But Raw tonight is going to be, I know I've told you that over the years, like the Raw after WrestleMania used to be a very important, fun, crazy big night. The last few years, not as much so, but I could see tonight being quite interesting. They used to always have like some surprise returns, maybe a Randy Orton coming back at some point. I don't know. But yeah, what's Cody going to do? Where the fuck is Seth going like we talked about earlier?
Mm-hmm.
Is Rhea Ripley going to continue on Raw? Is the Judgment Day going to still be together? A lot of questions, and it's going to be fun, and we'll be talking about it.
Sounds good.
Before we kind of move into, I just want to briefly talk about Dynamite last week since I was in attendance, had a great time. And I know you didn't really watch any of the other shows this weekend, but I did just want to mention Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor was unbelievable. I really, truly think it might be my favorite show of the year. Revolution and WrestleMania Night 1 also in there. And also Wrestle Kingdom was really good as well. But just from top to bottom, Supercard, I had 4 matches at 4.5 stars and 1 at 4 3/4. I don't think I'm necessarily overrating. Shibata beating Wheeler Yuta. I'll admit I overrated because I'm a fucking Shibata mark, but I did not expect that to happen. Commander and El Hijo del Vikingo had an insane lucha match. And Eddie and Claudio in the main event. Unbelievable. Claudio won, similar to the Cody situation. I think a lot of people thought Eddie was going to win. Obviously, not nearly the magnitude, and he came up just short in an epic, heartbreaking match.
Yes.
And I can't wait to see what's next there. Tom mentions, missed this earlier. How do we feel about the sale of the E? We did talk all about it.
Yeah.
You'll have to catch that in the audio version.
But in the very beginning,
But we're both, again, we're not businessmen here, but I think it's a good fit. And it'll be, Bo mentioned like from a TV perspective.
Yeah, that's where it's interesting.
Will they be featured more on ESPN? Will there be a joint network? Anyway, but check it out earlier in the show.
Yes.
And then he also said, I think this is worth talking about, any chance Gunther guns for Roman? Yes. But, that's why I kind of thought he was going to lose the Intercontinental title. Whether Roman won or lost or not, I think he is going to be primed to be one of the next big heavyweight challengers, no doubt about it. Triple H, called him a star yet again in the press conference because he fucking is. But yeah, I mean, Cody, Gunther, Seth, they're all right there.
Yeah, there's a lot of like an interesting mix, and I think like the decision for Roman to win just makes that just more interesting. I think maybe Cody's set of challengers maybe is a little bit more narrow.
I think Gunther would have been that's why like Gunther Cody would have made a hell of a lot of sense from how the Royal Rumble ended when they basically had like a 10-minute match there. But we have Gunther winning and we have Cody losing. So we shall see. But yeah, just wanted to put over that Ring of Honor show because it was so good. And prayers up for Dante Martin, who fucking shattered his leg. That was ugly.
That's brutal as hell.
Hopefully, speedy recovery for him. Those damn top flight boys just can't catch a break. I mean, he's obviously been healthy the whole way, but Darius with 2 major injuries. But now I guess we'll get to see old Darius Martin in some singles action. So, I mean, I truly thought they were going to be one of the teams. The Lucha Brothers won that match, actually, the 5-way ladder match for the titles. I thought it was going to be Top Flight or the Kingdom. But anywho. But yeah, Tony Khan's Ring of Honor, high marks from me for sure. Yeah, let me just pull up. Oh, let's do our ad.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, I was going to say.
Probably should have done that. Well, no, this is a good time for it.
All right. I forwarded this stuff to you.
Yeah, and I'm pulling up a couple of things here. So give me a second. Okay. And ham tits. My email's very slow. Copy here.
Do what? You were a little choppy.
Easter copy.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, I got it.
All right, you ready?
Manscaped is here with a deal you can't pass over. Oh, sorry. Okay, here we go. Manscaped is here with a deal you can't pass over this Easter season. They've got the tools to give a beautifully decorated egg of your dreams. Just because it's Easter doesn't mean it's okay to hide those bad boys behind all that tall grass. So make sure your downstairs lawn is mowed. Get yourself feeling as sweet as candy by going to manscaped.com and getting 20% off plus free shipping with the code BBB. Tell them more about how you can get your eggs decorated.
Sure thing. It's time to put all your eggs into the perfect basket with the Performance Package 4.0 by Manscaped. It's the classic. Inside this ball care bunny basket, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, their Weed Whacker 2.0 ears and no hair trimmer, which it's just upgraded from the 1.0 to the 2.0, so new stuff here. Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, Performance Boxer briefs, and a travel bag, the Shed, to hold your goodies. And the Lawnmower 4, yes, I love the Shed. I literally use it every day. The Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer is an elite electric trimmer. It has their proprietary advanced skin-safe technology that's designed to trim hair on loose skin. And it's also waterproof and equipped with an LED light so you can keep your eyes on those eggs even in the dark. And here comes Peter Cottontail dropping off something for your balls. I don't know. I was trying to run with that, but who cares? It's an extra special gift with Performance Package by adding the upgraded Weed Whacker 2.0 nose and ears hair trimmer, which we talked about, reducing nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate nose and ear holes. And then we talked the Crop Preserver, ball deodorant, Crop Reviver, ball toner. You heard that right. This is ball deodorant that can change your life. And so, FYI, April is Easter, but it is also a Testicular Cancer Awareness Month. Yes. And Manscaped is partnering with the Testicular Cancer Society to bring awareness to testicular cancer, men's health, and early cancer detection, which is great. Manscaped is committed to raising awareness for the most common form of cancer in men ages 15 to 35 and giving support for fighters, survivors, and families impacted by testicular cancer as part of their We Save Balls initiative. So how about you take initiative and call us to action?
Yes. Yeah. Good stuff there. Save 20% off and free shipping with the code BBB at manscaped.com. That's right. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code BBB at manscaped.com.
Yes,
Hop
sir.
into the best deal of the year with Manscaped, and trust me, your balls will thank you.
Yeah, they will. They'll have mouths that open up and they'll say it.
Yes. Okay, yeah, just quickly want to talk about AEW Dynamite last Wednesday from the Chaffetz Arena on the campus of St. Louis University in St. Louis, Missouri. Your boy was in attendance, third time this year. Very cool.
Yeah. Wow. Already in 2023, getting them in.
Yeah, getting them in. But some nice bonuses here. They taped the entire Ring of Honor show from that Thursday that night. So we got full Ring of Honor, Dynamite, and Rampage. So it was like a 5.5 hour night.
Oh, yeah. It was pretty epic.
Yeah, but we got to see Miyu Yamashita from Tokyo Joshi Pro on Ring of Honor, who JCB and I both love. So that was like a nice thrill. Aussie Open was there. So like people we've never seen live before that we didn't expect. Shibata made an appearance to confront Wheeler Yuta. I think there was one more, but like just these nice bonuses that we certainly weren't expecting to see on the other shows. But Vikingo wrestled as well against Blake Christian. So there were like 4 really cool things that we got to see that we didn't expect. So and a very fun, good Dynamite to boot. I mean, it wasn't like a top tier by any means, but it was a lot of fun.
It was pretty decent.
Good show. I mean, I think the big thing is the whole Blackpool Combat Club, story with, I mean, we'll get there, but Danielson returning and turning heel and joining with them is very fascinating, and I love it. And of course, MJF continuing his feud with the 4 Pillars and really focusing on Jungle Boy this week. And we start with Jungle Boy, Jack Perry defeating Matt Hardy with very upset Ethan Page in 10 minutes, 2 seconds. I'm going to call this the Will Sanford extravaganza because he fucking loves Jungle Boy and Hook. And Hook came out at the end, and I'm like sending him pictures of both, and he
loved it. Yeah.
But yeah, just a standard 10-minute match here. Everyone and their brother knew Jungle Boy was going to win. Nothing really special here. And obviously the story was MJF coming out after the match.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that was kind of, solid match, Matt Hardy. But yeah, the bigger story was, MJF and the promo. For sure. I hope he tells all of his stories or tells his story in his promos with his relationship with these guys. I think that's,
it seems like they're probably, they had the whole big group thing a couple weeks ago with all of them in the ring. And then this one was just he and Jungle Boy. And I'm kind of assuming that he'll have a similar one with Sammy and a similar one with Darby. Remind me, since it's been a minute, and I know you just watched the show today, what were some of like the high points from this promo for you?
Oh, the MJF one?
Yeah.
I would just say the story about Jungle Boy and how he told him to you got to abandon, your friends. And then, you kind of synced up with Marco Stunt. He made fun of him.
Oh yeah. That's
Luchasaurus
right,
and Christian Cage, just that kind of, that whole sort of background, I think, and kind of really laying down the 2 different directions they went.
Reference their match at Double or Nothing 2020. Yeah. So it was like from that point,
which I never saw that. So
yeah, very good match. We'll have to watch it before they tangle. But yeah, again, this was really good for sure. Let's see. Jack called MJF a narcissistic piece of shit. He said he'll do it his way when he becomes the world champ. He won't have to wake up alone every day and hate the person he sees in the mirror. Yeah, good stuff. And then there was an attack. That's right, because he said something about Anna Jay, who is Jungle Boy's girlfriend. She told MJF that Jack is weak between the knees. And
I forget about that.
That's when he attacked, and good shit here. And like I said, I presume over the coming weeks, it'll be a very similar situation with Darby and Sammy, presumably building towards this fatal 4-way at Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
So there was that quick segment with Kenny and Callis and Marvez, back to old times with those 3. And kind of following up from the week before with Don faking the fall, and he said he was going to apologize to Hangman, which does not go very well later.
Nope. Not really.
There was the Jazz and Acclaimed shit, which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah, I did too.
Them just bouncing around a theme park and all this and that. I mean, it does kind of stink that it seems like the Acclaimed has lost a lot of that fire. I mean, they're still great, but feel like they're kind of above this. But
yeah,
it gives them something to do while they're not in the title picture. So
right,
I'm not
exactly.
going to complain about it. But and then we had the Blackpool Combat Club just fuck up Dalton Castle.
They messed him up. And I like Dalton Castle and all that. I like all that
the entrance and it happened during. I remember I was like taking pictures for our boy Evan, who's a big Dalton Castle fan. I'm like getting a picture, and then all of a sudden here they come and just bludgeon them.
Yeah, that's that.
It was 48 seconds, but
wow,
again,
really, that's it.
Continuing this heel asshole badass dominance of the Blackpool Combat Club, and I fucking love every second of it. It's just great seeing all of these guys in this different role because Moxley has not been. He's had heel moments in AEW, but he's not been just this full ass kicker. I hate you guy.
Right.
Claudio certainly had, and Wheeler both have been like pretty babyfacey the whole way, and I think they've all grown into this role very well. And Claudio finally got a music change.
Yeah,
which is a much more suiting than that.
For a heel,
for a heel, it's more like orchestral, boom, boom, type of shit with horns and Anyway, love it. So then they continue with Hangman and Marvez. He mentioned Nick Jackson had a separated shoulder, Matt partially torn bicep. Callis comes, tries to shake his hand, and then the Blackpool Combat Club and beat the fuck out of him.
That's all they do. They just run around and just beat people up.
Callis is bleeding, which apparently was legit.
Yeah.
Apparently he like fell and hit his head, and it was like really serious.
Wow.
Like had to be rushed to the hospital. He's fine, but that was not planned at all. So glad he's okay because I
thought I had a little bit more fuel to the fire. Yeah,
absolutely. Okay, and then next, I thought this was going to be the main event. It should have been the main event, but I get why they put Cole in that spot for sure. But Kenny Omega defeats Jeff Cobb for the to retain the IWGP United States Championship in 14 minutes. I thought this was really good for what it was. I mean, I think it would have been better suited in the main event. Cobb is a beast. He was able to throw Kenny around quite a bit. And I thought they had a heck of a match. I thought Cobb had a chance to win it, but didn't think he would. But yeah, what'd you think of this one?
Yeah, no, I thought this was great. You know, like I said, like you said, this could have easily been the main event, and just further cements, like it's great to see Kenny back in singles matches and stuff like this. I think it's just, what's the word I'm looking for?
You'll find it.
All right. Yeah. We'll just leave it with me sticking my tongue out.
It's tight. How about that?
Yeah, it's tight.
Him getting Cobb up for the One-Winged Angel was a cool spot for sure.
Yeah.
Cobb for a big boy, he can jump a little bit. He did, a few like a moonsault, like the standing moonsault or something. But this was a fun matchup here. It is a bummer that this is Kenny's first defense of that title, and he's had it for 3 months now.
Wow.
I'm sure there's some politics with all that, and I admittedly thought he would be in Japan again before this point, but he has not. I thought this match would happen at Sakura Genesis, which is New Japan's big show this weekend, because Cobb had been calling him out. I mean, I'm certainly not upset that I got to see it in person, but I want to see Kenny back in Japan. Like you said, it's been awesome to see him in singles again, for sure. And with what happened after the match, I think we just might be getting another Kenny Omega Bryan Danielson match at some point, which
that would be great.
Fucking lovely. And this time with Bryan as the heel and Kenny as the babyface. So we've got the switch from their last match, that incredible 30-minute draw at Arthur Ashe a couple years ago. So we kind of referenced it earlier. Moxley, Claudio, and Yuta come out to beat up Kenny. Danielson comes out to make the save, seemingly. And in the moment, I'm like, he's going to fucking turn on him. He's going to turn on him. He's going to turn on him. And he sure did.
Yeah.
He kind of backed him up. He picked Kenny up, and then hit him with that running knee, locked him in the lapel lock.
Yeah.
And I guess he passed out, and then they celebrated. And
Blackpool Combat Club are all over the place.
Before Brian came back, they were already fucking up everyone in their path.
Yeah.
Now look at them. I love this so much. One, because Brian had felt so distant from this group for a long time.
Oh yeah. I mean, after
the William Regal stuff,
exactly.
Even when that was still going on and he was here, he seemed to be siding with Regal. So I love it. Now they're fully a unit. It seemed like Brian was definitely on his way out, and I'm glad that he's not, because this is such an awesome fucking group, and having them in this dominant heel role is going to be great. I'm guessing we're going to get a blood and guts with these four and the Elite and Hangman coming up. I mean, that has to be where we're headed here. And on the women's side, we've already got, the Outcasts, the OGs. I'm sure that'll be kind of a double barrel, because I feel like Blood and Guts is usually in April and May on a Dynamite, but in between Revolution and Double or Nothing. So, but the story is going to be very interesting from all of this, and I fucking love it. Strap in, baby.
Yeah, no, this is definitely an exciting direction to take all that. I agree.
Also exciting, next week we're going to get the Guns and FTR in a careers versus titles match, which again, I do think FTR is going to win and stay, but they could very well be WWE bound. The result of this match is certainly going to be very telling, and I think it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, no, that definitely, adds some intrigue next week. I'm down for this.
So then we had the International Championship, in which Orange Cassidy defeated the Butcher in 7 minutes, 58 seconds. Oh, they have it separate. I was going to say, how many title defenses?
Yeah, I was going to say, that's cool that Orange adds to his title defenses. I thought the match was kind of whatever.
Yeah, the match was fine. It was, it's another way to just get Orange out there, and he's seemingly on TV each and every week. Everyone loves the guy. Why not?
It's, sort of automatic stakes, at least with the title, and then other guys like Butcher and Blade, people like that can wrestle for it. It doesn't make for the bet.
I was gonna say his 16th title defense.
Wow,
that's crazy.
Yeah, and it's good, in a very mass-produced kind of sense, but yeah.
We've talked about it. He hasn't really had a big singles match at a pay-per-view recently, so I would like to see them build to that for Double or Nothing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love seeing him defend this belt 16 times, and I love seeing him on TV, and the matches are always entertaining no matter what. But, a big program with him, I think, would be good.
Yep.
Okay. And... they did the Jade thing, blah. Okay, Willow and Ruby Soho. Ruby defeats Willow in 9 minutes, 6 seconds. I thought this match was pretty good. I'm a big Willow fan for sure. She just continues to impress me more and more in the ring and personality, character-wise. I just think she's got it down.
Yeah.
Of course, we had the Outcasts out here, which was hard to take their eyes off them at ringside. Don't get me wrong. Kind of causing some distractions. And that's what led to the finish was Saraya had distracted the ref. Ruby got the roll up, but I'm pretty good action here. I enjoyed it for the 9 minutes. The women's division, like we've said, it's in a much better space now than it has been. I mean, it's been months of this now, of course, but and they've been building towards something. And after the match here, we got Jamie Hayter. It was first Sky Blue and Riho, who have been, kind of. And I love
getting a little more involved. Yeah,
I love seeing little Riho bring out that fucking big pipe. I don't remember if she did it on this show, but
is she gonna hit somebody? Whenever she hits someone with it, it'll be funny. Yeah.
And then Jamie Hayter comes out to a big pop. Obviously, that got me out of my seat. And, just a fun thing. It is a little, all right, let's go somewhere. They've kind of been in this holding pattern a little bit, but, I'm still okay with it. And like I said, there's definitely more of the OGs than the outcasts. So maybe they add, and I feel like we talked about this a month or two ago, is like who is going to go on that outcast side, because they definitely need at least one more for like a blood and guts, which had usually been, I think, 5-on-5, but I'm guessing it'll be 4-on-4 this year, just with how the teams shake out. But Athena, to me, still seems like the fit. She's a heel. She came from WWE. She's a champion, Ring of Honor Women's Champion, and she's been great as such. So yeah, let's start moving the ball a little faster.
A little faster. Just get something going, because it's been a little stagnant. I agree.
Yeah. Okay, and then we have our main event, which was Adam Cole's return, and he defeated Daniel Garcia in 11 minutes 6 seconds. Thought the match was good, not great. It was a very abrupt ending. It felt, and when I looked at my phone, I'm like, "There's 5 minutes left."
Yeah, no, I thought that was when I looked at the counter. I was like, "Okay, what's going on?" Like, this is like a whole lot of time.
But I had said to JCB, I'm like, of course, they're just going to promote this all access show that's coming up next. And, they have the fucking streamers, and Britt comes out. And I'm like, and obviously I haven't watched this back on TV, but I'm sure that's exactly what the announcers were doing in that moment. So cool. I'm very happy Adam Cole's back. Like we talked about last week, having him in this babyface role is going to be interesting. I'm sure he's going to keep being fed pretty, above average challengers, I think, to kind of start working his way up.
Yeah.
But, we mentioned him as a potential to dethrone MJF, but that's going to be a while down the line. So we'll see, what's his program or feud for Double or Nothing. What's the story that he's going to get here other than just beating guys?
Yeah. And I guess if Jericho came out for Garcia, is it going to be jazz stuff? I hope it's not that. I hope it's not that.
I'd forgotten he came out. Good call. Yeah. I'm guessing we're going to get Jericho Cole. I don't know if that'll be.
But I hope that's not the pay-per-view. Yeah, I hope that's not the pay-per-view.
I agree. Like, I can't imagine they'd stretch that for almost 2 months. But that would be a good, feud for him to win. And kind of, what about him versus like Ricky Starks?
Yeah, that could be cool. Yeah,
again,
that'd be great.
Babyface, but I'm just thinking, okay, that's a guy that just went over Jericho.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got this Juice Robinson thing going, which he's going to win, and that'll be good. But yeah, Cole versus Ricky, I think would be great.
That would be great.
I mean, I'm probably not going to go that direction, babyface, but I don't know. Jericho, I again didn't think about that. So that'll at least be for now. But we'll see.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, we shall see. But it'll be interesting where they go with them. But yeah, decent show, I thought.
Fun show to be at. Yeah, not like top tier, call it like a B plus B show. B plus, I'll call it. Because the storyline developments were great. The Kenny Cobb was the only match I had above 4 stars. Only one even really close, but some great storyline stuff here. And like I said, we got to see some great wrestling throughout the 5.5 hours that we were there.
Yeah.
Including a nice Sammy versus Takeshita match on Rampage. But yeah, just what a fucking week it had been. I mean, I was in St. Louis for that, stuck around for opening day the next day, where I just hung out in a bar and got drunk and watched the Reds and Cardinals, and then we met up later. And then we get into this whole fucking weekend of wrestling. And Friday I watched 2 or 3 shows, and Saturday. So yeah, it has been a bit of a fucking whirlwind for me these last few days, but it's been fucking awesome.
Yes.
And we've certainly got some interesting stuff cooking that you may start hearing next week.
Yeah. Should be interesting.
Yeah. Anything else to say before we call it a day?
Not off the top of my head.
Who do you got in the game tonight?
Probably UConn. I didn't want to bet on it because I was so hard. Probably UConn.
Yeah, so I made one money line bet on San Diego State, just like a $7 bet, just to have something on them. But I've got UConn as well. I mean, they've dominated. They've just utterly
You
dominated.
know, if it's a low scoring game, if San Diego State sort of slows them down and plays that, long possession defensive, game that they want to play,
That
it could
Brian
be
Dutcher defense.
the Brian Dutcher defense, Dutch fence.
Let's see what Matt Bradley has to offer.
Yeah, we will see.
And his ham tits. All right. Well, this has been a ton of fun. Can't wait to see what's coming next in the realm of WWE shit and AEW, as we just kind of talked through the fun storylines for that. So it's a great time to be a wrestling fan, let me tell you. But yeah, sweet. See ya, I guess.
Talk to you soon.
Bye, baby.